As you can see, I am no longer in the woods at my small house. I finished with the siding underneath my overhangs, and that was about all I was going to do or had planned to do in this time span. Because if you remember, when I first got here, I spent 2 or 3 days pulling nails from some lumber that I'm going to use later. Then I went out to the woods to work on the overhang or underneath the overhang. So now that that is finished, I am back at my brother's place, his ranch or farm, however you want to see it. So each time I come here, I do what I have to do either before, during, and after. I try and come back and help him out with a few things around his place because he's not able to do all the things that he used to the way he used to. So when I come in, I try and help out as much as possible. So I wanted to do a short time lapse of me helping replace some fence posts and some fence because the cows are getting out and they're wandering around, and of course they can almost walk through this fence that's up here because it's been here since he's bought the place. So I thought I'd help him change a few of those. So I think this is probably about 5 or 6 posts I'm changing out of maybe 10 or 15 that I've done at other places. But I just wanted to show this part of it. And of course, I had the camera doing a time lapse of the livestock around the place here. So I just wanted to show this, and then of course I'm going to get back to the time lapse of the livestock grazing. Each time I come here, his livestock always fascinate me by how much and how long they're able to graze. From sunup to sundown, they're grazing. They'll sit for a while, they'll graze some more, they'll move all over the pasture and graze and graze and graze. And of course, we separated a few of them out from the herd because they were going to get sold. They were going to the auction to be sold. So the others weren't really liking that, so they started running over fences and posts for whatever reason to get out to be with the other cattle because I guess they just had maybe some separation anxiety. Don't really know, but that's what was happening, which is one of the reasons my brother wanted me to help mend these fences and get those things going so they can't just run over it anytime they feel like it. But at the same time, each time I come down here, I'm always fascinated by the wide open spaces around the livestock as they graze and graze and graze. And of course, since there's such wide open spaces around, you see the pasture, you see the trees, and of course you see these big billowy clouds that are being pushed around by the wind. And of course each cloud is blocking the sun out, so the light is changing each time it moves. Sometimes they move in front of the sun for a minute and you see all these shadows coming around. I didn't want to slow it down too much because it's already a pretty long video, so I didn't want to make it too long. But I just like to see the clouds moving by because each time I come here, it's always interesting to me how things just keep changing. Life goes on. The cattle graze. They keep grazing. They'll run around. There's a couple of horses out here. They'll graze with the cattle. They'll graze alone. They'll run around for a while. They'll come over and watch me while I watch them, hang out, run around some more, and do it all over again all day. Unfortunately, I don't have all day to sit around and watch them, but it's always nice when I'm working around them so that I can understand why my brother have them here because he says they help with his PTSD being a Marine vet from the Vietnam War. He says it helps him just coming out, watching them and taking care of them and just seeing how they do their thing. He says it's pretty soothing. I can kind of understand that because it is pretty nice that I can watch them as I'm out here doing my thing. Of course, I'm not out here very much because I'm out in the woods working on my house, but it's always a nice thing to watch how they would just go all over this pasture. I don't know if they have a set part they like to graze on every now and again, but it seems like they pretty much cover this whole pasture. during this time lapse. This was something that I've always been interested in seeing, and it's kind of fascinating, so I thought I'd do a time lapse of it, because on the other end of this, I'll be getting ready to get out of here to go back home, do some more work, try and save some more money so I can come back and do more work to get this house completed, or at least working towards completion. It's not a major ordeal that I complete it in any major rush, because it's been 5 years already and I'm not really in a big rush. I just kind of do it as I do it and get as much done as I can, and I'll just have to go with it that way. I will get ready to get out of here, then come back and make it all happen again. So I will let you guys know when another video comes up. This video will end in a couple minutes. I just wanted to do a time lapse of the clouds and everything. So after a while, the sun will start setting and it'll get a little darker, and that will be the end of this video. And that is pretty much the end of my trip here. So as I said, I will be back and we'll keep this thing going. So until then, I'll see you guys on the next video.